So in order to solve number 1, first thing we're going to do is subtract, because that's a plus 9. And the opposite of adding 9 is subtracting 9. So let's subtract the 9 from both sides. And then we're going to take the square root. Now, we talked about this on Monday, but whenever you take a square root, if there's a negative, we have to split it. Because what we really have when there's a negative 9 is a negative 1 and a positive 9. So the square root of negative 1, does anybody remember what that is? I. The square root of negative 1 is I, so I'm going to put plus or minus I. And then the square root of 9 is 3. So this is my answer. Now, when it says make a sketch, is this one going to be a smile or a frown? A smile. So we just have to make a smile that doesn't come down far enough to touch the x-axis. And that's all I'm looking for the sketch. That's it. Technically, and you don't have to redo it, it would be like in the middle. But again, it doesn't matter. As long as it's a smile that doesn't touch the x-axis, that's all I care about. All right, let's look at question 2. First thing we're going to do is separate out the negative 1 and the 64. Square root of negative 1 is I. The square root of 64 is 8. Now, you only put a plus minus when it says solve. If it says solve, you have to add the plus minus in front. If it says simplify, we don't need the plus minus. So we kind of did chapter 1 out of order. We started off with section 1, then we did section 2. Then we skipped from section 2 to section 4. Then we went back to section 3. And today we're starting section 5. I know it was crazy. We just did it kind of out of order. In your blue packet, go ahead and turn to page 23. And today we're going to focus on how to convert from general form to vertex form. So on page 23, we're going to learn a new method, and that's how to convert an equation that's in general form to vertex form. We've already talked about factor form. That was in 1.4. But today and tomorrow and the day after that, we're focusing on how to take something in standard form and putting it in vertex form. So that is the focus. So the first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and go through our box. Write the original equation. So our original equation is y equals x squared plus 6x plus 11. And this one, A is 1, B is 6, and C is 11. Step number 2 is make a box. So I'm going to make my box. Now A, this is A. A always goes here. So that's where I'm going to put my x squared. Now this is what's different. This is not the same as factoring, because I'm going to take my C and put it behind the square. So C is 11. That's going to go here. And then I'm going to take B, which is 6x, and I'm going to divide that by 2. And when I divide it, it's going to go here and here. So what is half of 6x? 3x. Let's put that here and here. This is how we're going to set it up every single time. So step 3, I'm just going to redraw that same little scenario. Let me draw it again. Again, let's go through it again. We make our box. The A goes here. The C goes in the back. And then we take our B and we split it in half. Now, the reason why this is called completing the square is because, do you notice that we have a square that is empty? So in order to figure out what goes in that square, this is the formula that we use. The formula says you take B, which is 6, divided by 2, and you square it. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 squared is 9. So that's the number that's going to go here. So I want you to put a plus 9 right there. Behind it, though, we're going to subtract that same number, whatever number we put in the lower right corner, we're going to subtract it from C. So I want you to put a minus 9 back here. So now we're going to take out our GCFs. This is my GCF, and we got a 3 here. This is my GCF, and this is a 3 here. So this would factor down to x plus 3, x plus 3. And then what do you get when you take 11 minus 9? 3, 2. Now, in math, though, mathematicians, we like to do everything with a shortcut. So we're not going to write x plus 3 times x plus 3. What is the shortcut instead of writing x plus 3 times x plus 3? X plus 3 squared. This is vertex form. If we were to graph this, the graph of this equation is the exact same as what we started off with. These two match each other. It's like I took it and I wrote it a different way. And this is what we're going to practice. We're going to do a few more together, and then you will have time to practice on your homework. You do have homework due today. I will be putting those grades in. And then homework 5 is due next week on Wednesday. So let's go to the next page. Now, at the top of page 24, I want you to write vertex form again. This is the vertex form. Anything that's in vertex form is going to look like this. The reason why we like this form is because you can easily identify the vertex. The vertex will always be at HK. The axis of symmetry is at x equals h. So after we do our rewrite, we're going to answer those 2 questions. Now, H, this is always the opposite. We always have to flip the sign for H. So whatever we write here, we're going to write the opposite here and here. All right, so let's get started. Make our box. X squared goes here. C goes in the back. Then we take this number, we split it in half. What is half of negative 8? Negative 4. So we're going to put a negative 4x and a negative 4x. Now the easiest way to complete the square, you can do that formula, but the easiest way is to just multiply these two numbers. What is negative 4 times negative 4? It's always positive. So the number we put in this square will always be positive. A negative times a negative is positive. A positive times a positive is positive. So what's negative 4 times negative 4? So we're going to put that here. But we have to take whatever number we put there. Actually, let me go ahead and write that in red. I have to subtract it. So when we factor this down, this is going to factor down to x minus 4 times x minus 4. So my vertex form is y equals x minus 4 squared. And now use your calculator to figure out what 13 minus 16 would be. 13 minus 16 is negative 3. That is vertex form. So when we write our vertex, though,
Where did you get the negative 3 from?
so we take this 13 and we subtract 16. This number is how we get K. So in this equation, A is 1. H is the opposite. So whatever you see here, H is the opposite. H is not a negative 4. What's the opposite of negative 4? Positive 4. And K is negative 3. So my vertex is always HK. So I'm going to put 4, negative 3. That's my vertex. My axis of symmetry is x equals h, which would be x equals 4. All right, any questions? I'm not asking if you could do this on the test, but are we understanding the recipe? Let's do it again. Let's make a box. Mackenzie, you need to go to the nurse? Okay. Let's make our box. Put our x squared here. The negative 24 goes here. That's always your first step. Then we're going to take whatever we have here and divide it in half. And put that here and here. So what is half of negative 10? Negative 5. Good job. That's going to go here and here. Now, in order to complete the square, remember, this box is always positive. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. I'm going to put a plus 25 here. But in the back, I'm going to put a minus 25. So we have x minus 5, x minus 5. So your vertex form, let me circle this. This is vertex form. Would be y equals x minus 5 squared. Now pick up your calculators. Type in negative 24 minus 25. You get a big number. Negative 24 minus 25. Negative 49. Good job. All right. So now, in this equation, remember, A is always this number. A would be 1. What is H? positive 5, K, negative 49.
Do you
So
have to write that out afterwards?
you should. It's a good practice because soon we will graph it. Okay, so your vertex is going to be at positive 5, negative 49. These two, this is what we use for our vertex. We don't use A for the vertex. We'll talk about A tomorrow when we graph. The axis of symmetry is at x equals 5. Okay, any questions? 2 more, and then you'll have the rest of the class to either finish homework 3 and get that turned in, or start homework 5. Let's do one more together, and then I'm going to have you do the last one on your own. Make a box. X squared goes here. We have to split this in half. What is half of 14? Put a 7x here and a 7x here. This 9 is on the outside. Now our box is incomplete. You need to complete our box. We're going to take 7 times 7. 7 times 7 is 49. And you're going to subtract that number from the outside. So this is going to factor down the x plus 7, x plus 7. So your equation would be y equals x plus 7 squared. And now use your calculator to figure out what is 9 minus 49. You're right, you got it. So A is 1. H is where kids get confused because they forget to flip it. So what is H? Negative 7. Good job. And K, negative 40. So your vertex will be at negative 7, negative 40. Your axis of symmetry is x equals negative 7. I want you to do this last one on your own, and I'm just going to look non-judgmentally and see how many can do this last one. And we will go through it together in a few minutes. I want you to try to answer, rewrite it, and answer the vertex and axis of symmetry. I'm just going to take a peek. I'm not going to say nothing, but I need everybody to work on it. Drop the box and start setting it up. You don't have to. You need to go to the What's today's date, y'all? 27. Start right now. Okay, let me see. Okay, that wasn't bad. Now, a lot of people made the same mistake, though. Which is okay, because this is what we're doing. We're learning. Okay, so we made our box. The x squared goes here. Then we take this. Half of 4 is 2. 7 goes back here. All right, what is the number? Show me with your fingers. What's the number that completed the square? 2 times 2. All right, so I'm going to put that here and here. So then this factors down to x plus 2, x plus 2. So I'll have y equals x plus 2 squared. Now the mistake that about half of you made, which is honestly the same mistake first period made, is that 7 minus 4 is positive 3, not negative 3. So you would lose points for that, okay? 7 minus 4, 7 apples. Take away 4 apples is 3 apples. So we got plus 3. So that's a minor mistake, though. It's not that big. Now your vertex, though, a lot of people said the vertex was 2, 3. That's not right. What is the right vertex? Negative 2, negative 3. H, we always have to flip it. Negative 2, did I say negative 2, negative 3? Negative 2, positive 3. And the axis of symmetry would be at x equals negative 2. All right, we are going to practice this tomorrow. We're going to practice it Friday. We're going to practice it Monday. So we will keep at this. We have a skills check Friday, so you're right. We're going to practice it tomorrow. We're going to practice it Tuesday. Now, homework 5, where you all just picked up, can you write that is due on Wednesday?